mean, initially, I find this kind of strange. My brother used to have all the Marvel superhero comics. My big brother.
Yeah.
I'd be around, 7 or 8 years old.
Right.
I'd look at these every day, and they'll have little muscles, and I want the little muscles too. The guy that gave me the most, how can I put it? Gave me the biggest impact, I think. My favourite character was the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
Obviously the big muscles. So I think without the Marvel superhero comics, and then on, I think a couple of years later, the American TV series, The Incredible Hulk. Without that, I don't think it actually happened. Also, as we're getting older, the Rocky series, I was very much into the boxing. I never went to a boxing club, but I knew that my ambition was either bodybuilding or boxing, and I chose bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So that's how it sort of started, from grassroots. '80s, yeah. I think personally, I know there wasn't as big in the '80s, but the physiques and certainly the girls as well that were doing it. The girls they actually looked sexy and fit. It's changed a lot over the years. But yeah, and the guys, the physiques that they had back then in the '80s, late '80s, early '90s. I was looking at those physiques thinking, it could be possible that, if you were doing what they were doing. Whereas now it's like, fucking hell, what's going on here? So yeah, the Rich Gaspari, there were Mark Christian, there were Mike Quinn, Gary Stridon, Lee Labrada, Sean Ray. I think there were about 10 guys that inspired me. The first time I went to the gym at 14, there was the gym alcohol guest who was a big competitive bodybuilder. So, but back then it was very high volume. People used to train for 2 hours at a time. Certainly when we were in, all those lot in the gym, crazy amount of training, far too much overtraining. Yeah. But the advice I got given from Alan, I think due to the amount of training I was doing, I think I built little muscles in little places which other people didn't have. Yeah. I wasn't big, I'm still not big by any means, but I was building little bits of quality all the time. I think that's perhaps one of the reasons that when I get on stage today, I've muscles in little places where a lot of people aren't. I think my greatest achievement was actually just standing on stage. That was my greatest achievement. It's not a particular title that I won. Like I say, some people might look at my achievements and think, oh, you won a British title and you've got a world title. If there was a show which was my greatest achievement, I'd say it was my first show. That's the one that stands out in my memory. I'll never forget that day. One of the best days of my life. First show, without a doubt, yeah. That was like, when I was 22, I'm 35 now, so a long time ago, but I remember it like it was this morning. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't competed since 2008, which was in Canada. I've never been that confident competing on stage. It's more of an act. I'm posing and doing routines. I'd probably say this was the only show, I'll stick my neck out here, that when I was backstage, I looked at my body and thought, oh my God. I remember looking around at everyone else thinking, I'm going to nail them. Yeah. So much so, I text my sponsors at time to say, you're going to have a new world champion here. Text my mum saying I'm going to nail these. Yeah. Anyway, so I was 100%, I mean, even when at the start, when I just stood in line, I just couldn't take my eyes off me. Called me out first, put me back. Called me out again, put me back, and didn't bring me out again. Left everyone else to it, and all the feedback we were getting throughout the day. Not off English people, because we're in Canada, off Canadians and Americans. The feedback was just unreal. A lot of them were pros as well, pro natural. And I remember being at the end of the day, ours were like last class overall. And they were third, second, and first, and they gave me second. And I actually went dizzy. I literally went dizzy. But I took it on the chin. But that's bodybuilding for you, you know. I mean, I've said it before in past interviews. It's not like potting a golf ball or scoring a goal and knocking someone out. All it is someone's decision. And you know, photos don't lie. You know what I mean? I've seen photos and stuff, and it's there plain to see. For me anyway, and everyone else. It's just one of those things. SHIT happens now and again. Yeah. You know what I mean? To the best of us. And I've been beaten fair and square in the past. You know, I've been off and I've been beaten by a better person at that time, that day. You know, but that day, I'd say that's the only show that I'll never get over it. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, it wasn't even planned that show really. I started doing some. I released that DVD. I was releasing that DVD that year, and I had an idea thinking I could do some guest posing. That's when I thought of the Predator routine. And because I was in pretty good shape, a friend of mine at the time called Jimmy Williams, we're going to Fame. He said you should come and do this show. And Chris getting off bodybuilding.com mentioned it a few times as well. So that's how that show sort of came out really. But yeah, you know, I got some good photos in it. I'm glad I did it, you know. The DVD, it took 8 months to complete. 8 months to get bang on. The thing is with me, I'm a perfectionist, you see. I'm trying to achieve perfection sometimes. It's very hard. Certainly when you're almost relying on other people or the team to put what you want together, because you haven't got the tools to do it yourself. I don't think they realised what they were getting into actually. I think they thought they were going to do it in a week. Yeah. And the reality of it was, Levi were 8 weeks old. He's actually in DVD. I'm pushing him through the supermarket, doing some shopping, getting stressed. And he was 8 months old when just over 8 months old when it finished. So lots, kind of, you might sound crazy, but lots of stress went into that with the editing, getting the editing bang on. So she sent me DVD finished, and it wasn't finished by any means, and all these ideas that I had. And as it was rolling, I had more and more ideas. But ultimately the result was a DVD, which at the time I generally thought was the best DVD out there. And it sold that much. And it's something that I'm really proud of, you know. It did cost me a lot of money because of the amount of time it took. I'd rather it did cost the amount of money and be bang on and cost not that much doing a week, and I think most of them they just throw together. I mean, I could see a gap in the market, certainly in England in DVDs. Again, at the time, the DVDs that were out there, the guys didn't look great or pumped and, you know, strength and stuff, but they weren't giving much information. I think they do more now, actually. Certainly on natural front, there were a massive gap in market, and I nailed it, you know. So I basically go through everything I know regarding all the different training sort of philosophies, I know different types of training styles, why I'm doing it, why not to do it this way. It's not, even though it is an instructional DVD, it's me full on hardcore natural bodybuilding, balls to wall. There's no sort of rehearsals. I don't rehearse what I say. It's me just being myself. And there's some pretty funny moments in there as well. Some crazy moments, which people will see and they love it. They love it, yeah. There's my nutrition on there for day, off season. I don't talk about contest prep. It's not contest prep DVD. I suppose, I mean, at the time I'm thinking, perhaps I could do a contest prep DVD, me ripped to the bone. It's just no fun getting in that type of shape. Do you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, even down to packaging, you know, it's first class. Yeah.
Well, this one
Covers all supplementation, all we're taking, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
All loads of routines on there, backstage footage. As much as I could get on 3 discs. There's 4 hours and 47 minutes. So
quite a lot there,
yeah. I'll go back to the beginning of that first question. I think not the reason, but perhaps thinking about it now, the reasons why I was overtraining. I didn't actually know I was overtraining at the time, but I wanted it so bad. I wanted, my dream was to live in California, my dream was to be a professional bodybuilder, so all these from age of 14, so I'd say about 19, I was training. So I used to think if I trained harder than anybody else, did more than anyone else, then I'd get a better body than anyone else. That's ultimately why I was doing so much, loads of drop sets, loads of force reps, loads of giant sets. So certainly as I've got older, you get smarter. I've realised these past couple of years that I don't need to train as hard. And the results are the same. You still got to train hard. I just don't need to come out of the gym feeling like I've been hit by a bus.
So train smart rather than train hard.
Well,
train too hard.
Still train hard, but not over not too long a period of time. So, for instance, I've cut down the volume loads. So instead of doing like I used to do 4 sets years ago, just about every exercise I could think of for that muscle group, I've cut it right down. I mean, in my training at the moment, it's changed quite a lot. I mean, for arms, I've always been a stubborn muscle group for me. And I'd say my arms have grown more in a year. They haven't grown an inch. I don't think they've grown an inch in the past few years, you know. But they've grown more fullness. And I've been doing like high reps. I've been doing like 60 rep sets for standing dumbbell curls. Well, no, dumbbell curls, but at the same time, fast, explosive reps. I think this is pumping more blood into a muscle cell, stretching the cell. Whereas I don't think, well, heavy weights for my arms don't work at all.
Yeah.
So that's certainly changed. My shoulder training's changed. So I'm doing like I'm resting around 10 seconds in between each set, keeping the same weight. And again, I think it's keeping more blood in the muscle cell. All this blood volume thing, I'm getting all into this.
Yeah.
I've been reading about it a little bit. I'm not that technical when it comes to training. I'm more sort of hands-on, training hard. There's no frills. There's no big science behind it. I think some people they get too backed up by science.
Yeah.
You know, and some of these people haven't got physics to back up the knowledge. Kind of bizarre, you know. So I'm like your Rocky of bodybuilding.
Right.
Your Rocky story of bodybuilding. That's a new one. I mean, a good story for you. I'm going to do this for the magazine actually, I'll tell you as well. Tell you a little bit of it. I tore my quads, both quads, 11 weeks ago, badly. I was squatting in the gym. I've been squatting for a couple of years, so I had a bad back. I did loads of core work on my back, and my back were alright then. It's alright now, touch wood. So 1 week squats, three 20s a side, which you've seen on DVD. I was pumping about 32 out first set. I got 15 reps. Second week I got 17 reps. Third week, start training with this lass. I'm not going to go into it too much, but negligence on my part really. First thing, I didn't warm up. Second thing, I did meet my first set, and then I put an extra 5 kilo on each side. Took it off rack. Felt like a boss on my back. Felt like a tank on my back. There's a fit burst inside of me. What am I going to do? Am I going to put it back on? I'm going to squat. I'm going to squat. 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 rep. On 4th rep, on the way back up. You can imagine what a dry t-shirt sounds like when it tears.
Yeah.
Like that happened under my skin. Both my quads ripped open. Obviously I screamed, bar it back, because I had to chuck bar off, it smacked back in my head. Training at Gym and Fitness, and luckily the squat rack, not Smith machine, squat rack that we're training on, so freestanding squats, on this particular squat rack you can do your shrugs off it as well. So there's like two sort of metal bars coming out from the bottom of the rack, coming sort of around you. So as I went down, that caught the weight, you see, well, I didn't crush me. Cut a long story short, I went to hospital and everything, and got wheelchaired in, I didn't walk out. And she was saying that you're actually lucky, even though you're unlucky, you're lucky. It's quite possible if those bars hadn't been there, it would have torn off the bone and you would have had to reattach it and you had problems. Legs went black and blue. I got given some great advice on phone from a couple posts on Facebook actually, someone called Leslie, who studied all this for about 20 years, giving me more advice than hospital and specialists put together. She's a specialist. So that was that, yeah. So I ain't trained my legs for about 11 weeks now. Saying that, I did a little bit of leg extensions last week. The ironic thing is, I trained in my shorts for the first time in years, and my legs were bigger then than they ever been. I've only been tickling around for a couple of years, so back to what we're saying, that less is more. Yeah, it's kind of strange. So lesson learned on my part, negligence, didn't warm up enough, training with a fit bird, 3 weeks back into it, me thinking how E-Man. Yeah, E-Man were inspired me as well when I was a kid.
Yeah.
All E-Man figures.
Yeah.
I think the most common mistake, there's loads actually. First thing is that a lot of people go into the gym and they think that 3-4 times a week training pretty hard, the muscles are going to repair and grow that bit bigger each week, and the reality of it is they don't. It takes a long time. Second classic mistake is nutrition. If your nutrition's not in place, it's a bit like building a house. You can have all your bricks, you can have all your windows, you can have all roof ready, you can have all bills and that, but if those footings are not in place before you build the house, and all the water pipes and everything, then that house will get built, but it'll fall straight back down. So it's the same with training, you can go to gym and you can smash gym on, but your food's not in place. I'm saying that now as well, supplementation's come on so much in the past 10 years. I mean, I've had a shop for 10 years, and back then there were around about 5 British companies. All products were very basic. Before that, it was egg and milk.